What's up, y'all? This is Relly back with another video. Yes, and today we are finally talking about who is the missing piece for the Dallas Mavericks. And I'm doubling down on a Dallas Mavericks system on complete efficient offense. And the player that I'm referring to is Bradley Beal. Now, before y'all start, y'all probably like, why are you saying Bradley Beal? Why is Bradley Beal the missing piece of the Dallas Mavericks? And this is why. I think doubling down on an already great offensive system is what they need. Because I thought for sure that the third player that they need would have to be some type of defensive wing. And then I realized, and I watched them play Houston, and I realized how fluid they was to trying to get to the bucket. And I said to myself, yeah, they can still get some defensive players and defensive role players, but that star has to completely fit in scoring. And I thought, who's a better scorer that is someone they can actually attract? And that is no other than Bradley Beal. And you might ask, what would be a realistic benchmark for what Bradley Beal could do on the Dallas Mavericks? All you have to do is check what he was doing in the 2018-2019 year, and you would realize that year he was averaging 26 points with 35% from three-point percentage and 48% field goal. And this is a realistic picture of what Bradley Beal could do as the third star of the Dallas Mavericks. And on top of that, what Bradley Beal does so well is shoot the ball. He can score the ball, and I think to a degree he can tuck Luka Doncic in the sense of his inconsistencies sometimes at shooting the three-point shot. And I think Bradley Beal gives them such a fun dynamic offensively that he perfectly fits the dynamic of the Dallas Mavericks currently. And I just feel like if you put Luka Doncic and KP in that pick and roll, pick and pop situation, Bradley Beal can very easily tuck into that catch and shoot shooter and space the floor so perfectly. And like I said before, I thought the third option player, the third star of this team would have to be a defensive wing until I realized the Dallas Mavericks can substitute that for defensive role players, right? They can change that in for players like Patrick Beverley or Trevor Ariza or Andre Roberson. They can substitute that problem with those degrees of players, because if you watch when they played the Houston Rockets, they are buying in on a fluent offensive game, and they can do it. They just need one more piece, one more consistent piece that can make them a legitimate playoff team and be someone you have to really pay attention to. And I think Bradley Beal is the perfect player for that system. And then you say, what would be the negatives? Because it gotta be negatives. And I say the negatives is the obvious one. The Dallas Mavericks defensively would be terrible. Right? There's no way around that. Like, it's no disguising that. They would be terrible defensively. They would give up a lot of points. Just like Houston, just like any other team that's really good offensively, they would give up a lot of points. It's just that simple. Like Bradley Beal, he can play some defense, but he's not the best of defensive players. Luka Doncic is not a defensive player. KP can play defense, but how much defense do you expect him to play that's going to cover up Luka Doncic as a defensive liability and Seth Curry as a defensive liability? You get what I'm saying? So they would always have that problem, right? Like that's obvious. They would always have that defensive problem that they would have to cover up. But the potential in it, as if they get Bradley Beal and none of the role players, the high potential in that still is that the offense would be so beautiful. The offense would be so overpowering that their offense would be their defense. And you say, what does that mean? All we have to do is look at the Golden State Warriors. And their offense was so consistent, so overpowering, so dangerous, to a point where if you was not Houston and you couldn't maintain a certain level of offense, you was destined to lose by the half. By the half, you had already lost the game. And I feel like with Bradley Beal, Luka Doncic, and KP, especially healthy, they would have a chance to potentially be one of the best offensive teams outside of Houston and Golden State once they are back and healthy. And that is a very dangerous thing to say for Dallas, is because Dallas, I feel like, has a chance a legitimate chance of making this offense work, making the system work, especially since they have Mark Cuban and they have the coach that would correct the errors on defense, correct the small things that are a problem. And I feel like this might be the team if they can acquire talent like that. If they can acquire offense that dangerous, could be a legitimate threat in the future with Bradley Beal. So down in the comments, let me know if you think Bradley Beal is the missing piece for the Dallas Mavericks. And with that being said, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. And do not forget to hit the notification bell for more amazing content, because we are on the grind, the official grinding with y'all. I know I can get there. So with that being said, Ghost.
What if we turn into hoopers? For the clip like bonds we shooting. Just like some soldiers we trooping. Step back three, we hooping. We in your house just like Fortnite.